What's up, Grace Girls? Welcome to the Allow Yourself Grace podcast, where we focus on helping Black women change their lives by discarding negative thoughts, pivoting in the right direction, and shifting their mindset through cultivating a trauma free lifestyle. I'm your host, Courtney Kristen, educator, content creator, life coach, counselor, and mental health enthusiast living in Houston, Texas. I created the Allow Yourself Grace podcast because I wanted to create a space for Black women to share their thoughts, feelings, and stories that make them who they are without fear of judgment. Allow Yourself Grace provides emotional support and encouragement within the Grace Girls community for women in need of non biased opinions from women other than family and friends. Personal development, self care, career, faith are among many of the topics we will discuss on this platform. Allow Yourself Grace podcast is here to encourage Black women to live unapologetically and thrive in being authentically who they are and were designed to be, an entire vibe. No topics are off limits. We will cover it all. Now, grab a notebook, pen, sit back, and enjoy the show.
What's up? What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Allow Yourself Grace podcast. And I am excited about today's episode because after last week's episode, got a lot of questions about, yeah, Courtney, I know I'm self sabotaging, but I don't know how to stop. So, in today's episode, we're going to dive deep into the hidden habits and mindsets that cause us to self sabotage. So, we're going to get into it. We're going to talk about how procrastination and perfectionism, how they go hand in hand. So, we're going to unpack why we get in our own way. Why? Because we all want to know why. All right. So, I just want to welcome y'all in. Y'all have really, really been, again, engaging with the podcast, liking the podcast. I need y'all to share more. I have a goal that I'm trying to reach. And so, I would really love it if you guys don't be selfish, share it with a friend. And so I am just excited about the Allow Yourself Grace podcast, where we are and where we're going. So don't be afraid to share. And also too, if you are watching this on YouTube, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe and hit that notification bell. And also leave me a review. Okay. Leave a review, leave a comment, all of the above. All right. So let's get into the episode. So, today we're going to talk about self sabotaging and what role it plays in our everyday life and how to stop it, right? Because it's not something that we want to keep hindering us from being successful, because the goal is to be successful. So, I want to share a quick personal story. So, lately, I have been in a place where I'm just cleaning out old things, getting new things, pieces, right? I'm learning to do stuff in increments. And so I don't want to ever feel like I have to get all this done right now. So I want you to stop thinking that if you are. So I know I went hard in the last episode on you, but in this episode, I want to give you the proper tools on how to stop, because some of you have, number one, you've recognized that you've been self sabotaging. So you've recognized it, which is good. Number two, you've taken accountability for you self sabotaging. But number three, now we got to do something about it, right? We got to do something about it. And so for myself, what I've done is I've started, okay, I'm going to write down the things that I want to get done this month. So at the top of every month, I write down 1 to 5 things that I want to get done that's tangible, right? Because you don't want to put something down that you know you can't achieve in a month. And so, if it's a step towards your bigger goal that you can achieve within the month, then do that, right? So, that's something that I've done personally, and that's really helped me because it makes me feel like I don't have so much on my plate that I can't consume it all. And so, when I put small pieces and increments on my plate, I'm able to one bite at a time. And by the end of the month, all of those tasks are off of my list. So I want you to try writing 1 to 5 things down that you can achieve in the month towards that bigger goal. But guess what? As you do that, you're going to have that goal knocked out before you know it. And so that's just a personal tip on what I've been doing. You can start doing that, or you can think of something different that you can do. All right. What is self sabotage? Because we've been hearing in the last episode, I don't know if I really defined it. I know I described it. So I want to make sure I define it for you guys. When we consciously or unconsciously block our own progress. So sometimes we do it unknowingly, sometimes we do it knowingly, right? Because oftentimes we've been doing it so long, we don't even realize that we're doing it. So that would be unknowingly. And then knowingly would be like, I know I can do that, but I'm not going to do it. That means you recognize that if I really try, I could get it done. I've met so many people like that. They're so multifaceted. And you're like, dang, you're so smart. You're like multi talented. You're super creative, super smart, but they never get anything done. We all know those people. They don't get nothing done. They can do it and they know they can do it, but they don't because they feel like, oh, it's not perfect, or oh, I mean, I I'm not that good. We've all met those people. Some of you are those people. You're like, oh, it's not that good. It's not good enough. You're looking for validation. You're looking for validation from other people. And so you knowingly know, like, I can do it, but I mean, are they going to like it? Are they going to accept it? You're in that space. So that's a good way to know that you're probably the fault of your own not being able to be successful. Like, you're the problem. All right. So, there's common forms of self sabotaging. And I talked about procrastination as the number one. We keep putting things off, putting things off, putting things off. And it's like, when? When are you going to do it? That's number one. Number two is negative self talk. We talk to ourselves crazy. We're all guilty of it. And I listened to my friend's episode a couple weeks ago. She has a podcast as well, and she basically said, like, stop talking like that to yourself. And I was like, ooh, ouch. Because we all are guilty of it. Even the people, like, you use the B word, right? You call yourself the B word or the N word. All those things are literally things that you're like, really? You talk to yourself like that? Like the negative self talk? That's a sign that you're self-sabotaging. And number three, perfectionism. I'm going to keep saying perfectionism because we all want to be perfect. Nothing's perfect. And when I got that through my head, that's when I was like, okay, God, I got to do this. I got to do this thing because being over here talking myself out of it is getting me nowhere. So I might as well try the thing that I'm trying so hard to make sure it's perfect before I put it out there. Make sure it's perfect before I say it. I have to make sure it's perfect before, like, we're all imperfect. Nothing's going to be perfect. There's always somebody that's going to call out the thing that you know is not as good. They're going to call it out. So you just got to be ready for it because perfectionism is going to cause you to stay in the same place you're in. And number four, overcommitting. Overcommitting, like you're doing too much. You're overcommitting. I've said this previously, but doing a lot of stuff don't mean you get nothing done. You're not getting anything done because you're doing a lot of stuff. You're overcommitting and nothing's getting done the right way. And there's plenty of you who like that because you're like, oh, I'm busy. I'm busy. I'm busy. I'm doing this. I do this. I do this. I do that. I do this and that. I'm like, dang, when you got time to just breathe? Okay. You're self-sabotaging because you're never perfecting the thing that you know is the thing. The main thing is not the main thing because you're doing so many other things. Y'all gonna catch that later. The main thing is not the main thing because you're doing so many other things. And my husband and I talked about this. We talk about this almost weekly, but we talked about this a while ago because in our line of work, we help a lot of people. But during this process and during this journey, we have made the commitment that we will not let our brands die to give life to other people's brands. We're not going to let ours die to give life to other people's brand. We love helping people. We love putting our all into what we do. We love producing other people's podcasts, but we can't forget the reason why we started this whole thing. And so the reason why we started OM2H Creative Studios, it was birthed from One Marriage, Two Hustlers. That's what OM2H stands for. And so OM2H Creative Studios is a product of where we started. We started in our house. We started making our whole downstairs area our studio, and that's how we started. And so we can't forget the core of why we started because we are the brand. It's what we do, it's what we love to do, which is why we put so much into producing other people's podcasts and their brand, because at the end of the day it still has OM2H on it because we produced it. And so we want to make sure that we're birthing good seeds and that we're putting good stuff out there, and we're not just putting anything out there. And so we promised ourselves that we will not forget the core of what we do, and we will not give life to someone else's stuff without giving life to ours. That's not being selfish. It's just making sure that we continue to water the seed that started this whole thing. Okay, that'll preach. That was a whole word. But anyway, I say all that to say, whatever you do, don't lose sight of the vision. Don't lose sight of why you started and why you want to do the thing that you want to do. Because perfectionism, procrastination, negative self talk, all the things will keep you from doing the thing that you know you're called to do. You know that you had a vision from God to do. It's going to keep you from doing it. And so you have to make sure that you're constantly nurturing that as mentioned in the last episode, you need to get around an environment. You need to get in an environment that is going to cultivate that seed that God planted in you. You need to seek resources that are going to help you. Like anything that's not bringing you value, it has to go. Perfectionism, procrastination, negative self talk, all of those things, overcommitting is not bringing you any value. It's bringing you long nights of being tired, sleepless nights, really, because when you overcommit, sometimes you're so exhausted you can't even fall asleep at night because your mind is not tired. Everything else is tired, but your mind is racing because you're thinking about all the things you have to do. And so we have to make it a point to make sure that we're pouring into us and watering the seed that contains the vision that God gave us. Procrastination is not going to get you anywhere but the same place you were last year. That's where it's going to get you. And talking to yourself negative is only going to make you feel bad. You're not even going to have the energy to do anything. And being perfect is just not possible. It's not possible for anybody. No one's perfect. The most successful people that we see on TV, that we hear on podcasts, that we look up to, all of the influencers that we see, all of the people that we watch on YouTube, nobody is perfect. I'm sure they can tell you a million ways they messed up on their video, but you can't see it. So I say all that to say, stop self sabotaging and trust what God has for you. And trust that if He gave you the vision, water it. Trust that. Water it and watch what happens. Trust that it's going to work out. Trust that it's going to come to fruition like you envisioned it. Trust that. Believe that. Walk in that. It's so important to your growth. All right. Let's talk about how self sabotage stems from fear. We're back to fear. And this is one of the chapters in my book. And when we talk about fear, because fear is crazy. Let me tell y'all what happened to me. So, my husband, he gonna get mad at me for telling this. But anyway, he had a little accident Okay. And he was hurt. And we had, like, literally, this was like 30 minutes before some clients were going to arrive. And I heard a noise and I'm like, "What the heck is that?" I go in here and he's on the floor, right? He on the floor. So I'm like, "Okay, cool." I go into, "Are you okay? Are you fine? You want me to move you?" I don't know. Cause when somebody falls, sometimes you can't automatically go into "let me get you up" because you have to see what's wrong because getting them up can hurt them sometimes more than it can help them. So that wasn't my first thought. My first thought was like, "Are you okay? Does your back?" I'm like, I'm asking all these questions before I take action, right? Because I don't want to just go into freak out mode because I can make the situation worse than what it is. So, anyway, I'm like, "Okay, what do you need me to do?" Because sometimes we have to just process what's happening. Okay, what do I need to do? What do you want me to do? Because this is your body. What's hurting? What can I move? What can I can't? Do you want me to help you? He said no. He said, "I want to get up on my own." Cool. So I started immediately just moving all the stuff around him to make sure the area was clear so he could get up. So he got up. I said, "Okay, sit right here in this chair. Just take a little moment." So as he's sitting there, I'm like, "Okay, let me get all this clean." I went into, "Let me get this cleaned up. You are okay. I want you to sit down, process, wait." Because sometimes when you fall or something happens to you, you don't feel it right away. So I wanted him to come down off of the adrenaline. So while he was doing that, I'm like, "Okay, he's sitting in a chair, so he's good. Let me clean up." And so I went into action mode. And I say that to get to, sometimes we got to go into problem solving mode. We can't stay in panic. Because it's easy to panic when the pressure gets real. It's easy to panic when things are looking like it's not going to work out. It's easy to panic when it's raining, it's storming, and you can't see, and you don't know how you're going to make it through. And your phone is going off with people calling, like all the things. It's easy to get distracted, okay? But you have to stay focused like I did in that moment. I had to stay focused on, okay, we have a client come, I got to clean up. Then I have to make sure he's okay. I have to make sure we get set up for them. I have to figure something out. Like, how am I making this work? I'm doing. I got all that stuff cleaned up. And I could see them out the window. And that's how fast I cleaned it up. And we got him. He said, "Babe, get the chair for me so I can sit down. Okay, get this, get that." And so he pushed through the entire meeting that we had, which was a super important meeting because, okay, when we have meetings, it's money online. So it's important for us. This is our lifeline. And so he's sitting there in pain. Like, I'm sitting on the other side. The people are here. We're meeting with them. We having a whole meeting. We in it. And I know me and my husband are pretty in sync. He was in pain. But he pushed through. I was in my mind was like, "Is he okay?" I know he's okay because he's right here, but is he okay? But we pushed through because we know what we needed to make happen. Y'all, I ran out in between sessions because we had somebody else coming right after them. Went got some medicine, came back, doctored him up the best I could. But again, we had to continue to push through. But we pushed through, we made it. We got cleaned up, got packed up, got what we needed, went home. I mean, it was a lot going on, but it worked out. And so sometimes instead of panicking in the midst of chaos, we got to come up with a plan. We got to push through. And I find this is what I find, and y'all can leave me a comment and let me know if y'all see this too. I find that when the pressure gets real, people panic and quit. They panic and they quit. They panic and they get stuck. They panic and they give up. And so I don't want that to be you. I want you to have the tools to be able to come up with a plan and come up with actionable steps to help you maneuver through those moments where you can't really figure it out. Where you're like, "Okay, I don't know what to do, but God, I'm pray real quick, and I know you gonna move with me. However I move, you're gonna tell me what to do." And so your mind gonna keep it's gonna go. But if you stop and you stuck, you're gonna stay stuck. So the important part is that you keep moving. Whenever you feel like you're gonna self-sabotage and you feel that little bit of fear, just keep going. Stop devaluing yourself. Okay? Stop doing that. All right. Signs. We're going to go over these signs again to look for. Always almost succeeding, then pulling back. For example, there's some of you who probably need like maybe a year left of school or maybe even a semester, but you haven't went back because you're like, I mean, I have to work or, oh, I gotta, I got kids or whatever the case may be. Figure out how you're gonna finish. Period. We don't want to hear that. Stop using that as an excuse because you're not the first person that has the problem that you have, and you're definitely not going to be the last. Okay. Almost succeeding in pulling back. Stop. That's how we're going to stop that. We got to nip that in the bud. The next thing is avoiding decisions or opportunities out of fear. A year or two ago, I think it's been about 2 years now ago, I was turning down invites to public speaking engagements all the time. I was like, nah, I'm shy. I don't want to do that. No, I can't do that. Oh no, this was before. Well, so I guess it's been almost 3 or 4 years now. This is before I started my podcast. And keep in mind, I used to public speak all the time growing up. But I don't know. I just got to a place where I was like, no, I don't want to do that. It's a lot of people. I won't do that. Can't do that. And we miss out on opportunities because what I notice is when I do go to engagements or have been involved in engagements, which I'm trying to get more into. It depends, I gotta see if the vibe is right. But anyway, I meet people, I make connections. Sometimes that leads to them booking a service at our studio. Like it can open up so many doors. And sometimes we just have to put ourselves out there. Like, cause you never know what's gonna come of it. If God puts something in your spirit to do, if you get an opportunity and you're like, oh, I want to do it, but then all of a sudden you start backpedaling, like, nah, I ain't gonna, nah, I think I changed my mind. I think I'm not gonna do it. Do it. And I'm just blessed enough to have a husband who really, really encourages me to do the things. Like, just do it. Sometimes we need that person. I want to be your person. Just do it, okay? Just try it. Just do it because you never know what's going to come of that opportunity. Don't turn it down. Figure out how you can. Instead of thinking of all the ways why you can't and why you can't, just try to figure it out because it could be an opportunity of a lifetime that you don't want to miss out on. The next thing, taking yourself out of something you know you want, talking yourself out of it. I'm sorry, talking yourself out of it. Just already sometimes I'll say I wanna do something, and then when the time comes, I don't do it. That's what I'm talking about. Because 'cause you've talked yourself out of it. You're like, "Oh, Imma do it, I'm doing do it." And then when it's time to do it, you're like, "Nah, I'll just wait." There go that procrastination again. "I'll do it later." "Oh, Imma push it back to next year." "Oh, it's gonna come out later." Like, we gotta put pressure. We have to put the pressure on ourselves to just get it done, like, cause we're gonna talk ourselves out of it. We just are. We're gonna find all the reasons why. I told myself, don't worry about the rest. Get it done first, and then worry about how you gonna get the money to do what you need to do, or how you gonna worry about that later. Just focus on what we got the tools to do now. Let's focus on that. What you have the tools to do with now. What can you do now with what you have? If you operate with what you have and you start with what you have, God is gonna multiply it. That's just what He does. And so you have to trust that. But let's not worry about all the things that we don't have and start focusing on the things that we do have to start. Seeking chaos or distractions when things are going well. Some of us go and we insert ourselves in other people's business. Like, some of this stuff don't even concern you and you over there. Oh, yeah, what happened? Like, that's not your business. That's not your business. Take care of you. Take care of you. And I recently had a situation like that where I just said, I gotta get off of this. This is I'm sitting here screaming to the top of my lungs to my husband about this. And he's looking at me like, why are you even worried about that stuff? And I'm like, you know what? You're right. Why am I worried about this stuff? I cannot worry about that stuff because my blood pressure through the roof. My face is red. Like, why am I? Why am I letting people call me to insert myself in that? No, get off the phone. Like, no, we not doing that. So all those distractions, sometimes we just gotta cut them off. Like, if people start talking about Germany, oh, hey, I gotta go cook. I gotta go. Oh, hey, somebody calling me. I'll call you back. Like, we gotta figure out how to like, mm-mm, because that's preventing you from doing something productive. Like, that's self sabotage, and I ain't here for it. I'm not here for it. But this is why we do it. We are scared to fail, and we're scared to succeed. It's like we're in between. We're scared to fail and we're scared to succeed. We just scared. Like that fear is crazy. It's crazy. And sometimes we feel like we're unworthy. We're not worthy of the blessings. But if God wants you to have it, sis, bro, you gonna have it. And that's just on that. So we feel like we're unworthy. And then also too, imposter syndrome is a real thing. It's a real thing. Some of us scroll on social media for hours and hours and hours, looking at other people, looking at their lives, looking at what they're doing, applauding their success, we know everything about them, but all we do is go to work and come home and watch them. When are you gonna create your own success story? I am what me personally, I am so determined to make sure that all my dreams succeed. Why? Because I have nieces, I have nephews, I have little cousins, I have people who are watching me and they love what they see, but I want them to see more. I want them to see the thing that, like, hey, I can achieve what I want. I can have what I want. I don't want them to have a limited mindset. And so it's my job to make sure that I achieve everything I want to achieve at the highest level so that they know that whatever they put their mind to, they can do it. Period. They're all smart. Like they can do it. It's not uncommon to have success. Like I want it to be a common thing. I don't know why we make it uncommon. And so we're scared of it. We're scared of it because a lot of people around us, they don't have it because they're limiting their own selves by self-sabotaging. Again, there's comfort in dysfunction. Like we're comfortable being in our little area. We're comfortable going from place to place that we're just used to and around the people that we're used to. We're comfortable. And it's dysfunctional as hell. It's dysfunctional. You know why you're comfortable? Because it's familiar. That's why you see people that don't leave out of their hometowns. They stay there because it's familiar. I'm telling you today, get uncomfortable. You got the degree. What's holding you back? Family? You can go visit them. Sometimes you just need a fresh start, and that's totally okay. Some of y'all been doing what other people want you to do for 40 years. And sis, bro, it's time for you to do something for you, something that you know God wants you to do. Expand your territory, enlarge your territory. Come on, let's go. And a lot of y'all are like super smart. Like I see you. Like there's so much that God has put inside of you, but you letting an environment hold you back. You letting one person hold you back. You talking yourself out of moving because I mean, my kids. I mean, they like their school or whatever the case may be. Kids adapt. They adapt. People move all the time. They can make new friends. They get involved in sports again. It will be fine. If nobody's told you, it will be fine. If you are in a relationship with a person that you don't freaking like, get out of the relationship. Whether it's a marriage, whatever, I don't care. Get out of it. You don't like them. You don't like them. Say it out loud. Admit it. Tell your mama, tell whoever, and you gonna be fine. You ain't gotta tell everybody on the internet. Move on. It's okay. It's okay because all you're doing is self-sabotaging. You're limiting your growth because you're letting a situation and a person hold you back. Be happy. Choose you. I saw that earlier. I'm like, I'm happy. Choose you, baby. Baby, if it's not serving you, it gotta go. It gotta go. If it's keeping you limited, it gotta go. Whether it's a person, place, or thing, it gotta freaking go. We too old for this. Like, I'm not being with somebody because my mom want me to be with them or whatever. Like, I gotta go. I got. I gotta go. I gotta go. I gotta do what God called me to do, and most importantly, I gotta operate out of love. I gotta operate out of freedom. I can no longer operate in toxicity. Ugh. I gotta go. That's why once you go and you grow, that glow up happens. You can go back to that old place and be good. You can go back around that old person and be like, "Hey, how you doing?" It's fine because I move on. I can glue up, baby. I'm her. What? Who? Period. Don't negotiate about you. That's all I'm saying. But hey, that's all on you. And get rid of the self-conscious subconscious, I'm sorry, limited beliefs. Get rid of that. Okay, we got to get rid of that because sometimes it's embedded in us. And how you want to know if it's embedded in you? Take a look around at your family and think about how you think sometimes and be like, oh no, that can't be me. I have to do that all the time. Like, oh no, shoot. Let me stop thinking like that. Let me get back over here on my track because it's embedded in us. So it's going to come back up. But the important part is that you're working to make sure that you don't let it consume you. All right. Y'all, this is a topic that I've been dying to talk about. So, how to stop, become aware, start tracking when you feel resistant or self doubt. Start tracking and write it down. How often am I feeling like, okay, I can't do this, or you're having those doubtful feelings? Start writing that down so you can really see if this is something I do all the time or if this is something I just do frequent, like ever so often, not frequently, like every now and then. The next thing is name the pattern, identify the triggers. Okay? Nobody has to know your triggers but you. It's nobody's job to know your triggers but you. It's not your spouse's job, it's not your mama's job. Nobody's job but you to know your triggers and how to control them. Practice self-compassion. We must show compassion not only to other people but to ourselves. That's what Christ wants us to do. Replace judgment with curiosity. Take small, consistent actions instead of, I gotta do it all at one time or I ain't doing nothing. Small increments. I talked about that at the beginning of the episode. Okay. This one is sitting on my heart all the time. Accountability. Talk to someone who can call you out on your BS. If you need me, comment, let me know, DM me, let me know, because I'll call you out. I don't have a problem with it. Somebody that's gonna call you out and don't get offended when they do. Don't get offended because you know it's true. Visualize the outcome. Focus on what success feels like, not the fear. Let's focus on what success can feel like, what you envision in your mind. All right. I want to encourage you that if you are out there today and you have the thing that you've been thinking about doing, but you've been putting it off and putting it off, or it's not perfect, or you're doing all these other things that's keeping you from doing that thing. If you're that person, I want you to take steps to get the thing done. So write down 5 things that you can do this month towards that goal, that you have the tools and the resources to do. Sometimes we just got to work with what we got, right? You ever got in the kitchen and you like, okay, I got this, and this, and you come up with a meal? That's what you got to do sometimes with your goals because you're not going to have everything. It's never going to be the perfect time. It's never going to be the right time. But use what you have and make it work. Okay? And God going to give you the rest, but you got to believe it first. You got to believe it. Breaking cycles take time. I don't want you to think that this is going to happen overnight, but I want you to know that it's possible. It's possible. Okay? So, if you started writing in your journal last week, I want you to continue that prompt. Okay? I want you to add to it. How can I stop? What tools am I going to use to stop that I got from this episode? What am I going to do? What are some things that I'm going to put into place? Okay. I want you to try the 5 method, which is writing down the 5 things that you have the tools and the resources and you have the ability to get done towards that thing that you want to achieve this month. Okay. We're not going to focus on what we don't have. We're going to work with what we got. Okay. So add that to your journal. Okay. If you are in need of therapy, make sure that you click the link below. There's a link there that has a list of therapists that you can go and see, that you can talk to, because therapists can really, really help you work through this and come up with an actionable plan. I'm not going to say that podcast is going to give you everything, but it's going to give you what you need to get started. But if you know that you need additional help and you would like to talk to somebody every week, or you need to seek resources, there is a list that's in my bio where you can go and sign up for therapy. Also, too, if you are not already subscribed to the podcast, make sure you like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. I will be bringing on some guests this season, and yeah, I thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope that something was said during this episode that can really, really help you start to propel forward and do the things that you know you need to do in order to get started on your journey, guys. And I love y'all so much. I'm so glad that y'all are enjoying this series, and I will see y'all on the next episode. Peace.
Well, guys, that concludes our episode. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to the Allow Yourself Grace podcast. For additional information about today's episode, please click the link in the show notes below. To learn more about our Grace Girls community and other resources we have to offer, head over to www.allowyourselfgrace.com. Until next time, Grace Girls, I love you all, be blessed, and continue to strive for success.